So if you think that you need to work on your glute activation and you do loads of lunges and squats and glute bridges, you should be set, right? Wrong. Actually, it's completely possible that you're doing all of those things and still not activating your glutes. In this video, I'm going to explain why that happens, how you can tell, and what you can do instead. Make sure you watch to the end to get the full picture of why you can be doing lunges and squats and still not be activating your glutes. Hi, I'm Catherine, and I'm the founder and principal therapist at Leighton Sports Massage, a multi-award-winning sport and remedial massage therapy clinic in East London. In this video, I share simple self-care tips and information about how your body works to help you live and enjoy your favorite activities as close to pain-free as possible. Now, glute activation. It is a big topic at our clinic, and rightly so. I mean, like almost all of the stuff that we work with our clients from the waist down, whether it be knee pain or ankle pain or plantar fasciitis or Achilles problems, hamstrings, are related to glutes not activating. But here's where the breakdown happens. People say, okay, I need to strengthen my glutes, right? So they start to do traditionally glute strengthening exercises like lunges and squats and glute bridges, and they actually end up making their problem worse. So like, let's say that you have knee pain and you start doing lunges and that makes your knee worse. Or you have lower back pain and you start doing squats and your lower back pain gets worse. Then people start to think, well, maybe it's not my glutes because I'm doing these glute strengthening exercises and it's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. And this is where the problem happens. You know, I have people come into the clinic all the time. They stand on one leg, they're wobbling all over the place. It's one of the ways that we test glute activation. You can see that in the 3 ways to test if your glutes are activating video, which is part of the glute playlist and also linked below. And then I'm like, well, you need to strengthen your glutes. And they go, oh, no, my glutes are fine. I do loads of squats. I do loads of lunges. Now, there is a difference between strengthening and activation, which we'll talk about in a different session or in a different video. But what I wanted to talk about today is how it is that you can do squats and lunges and glute bridges and your glutes not be kicking in. So when we're talking about glute activation, we're talking about the connection between your brain and the muscle, which is usually communicated via a nerve. Now, for whatever reason, and you can get more of this about what is glute activation in the what is glute activation video, that connection can break down somehow. Like the brain can send a message and ask the glutes to contract, and the glutes won't contract, or they'll contract really weakly, or you'll contract something totally different, like your quad or your hamstring. And that's really common. And if you don't have a good connection, that obviously means that your glutes are weak, right? Because if your brain can't ask your glutes to do anything, then they're not going to be contracting. So then when you go into doing these exercises like lunges or squats that expect your entire body weight to be held up by your legs and your glutes, your brain's not going to let your glutes try. It's going to recruit the muscles that it has a good connection to. It's going to recruit the muscles that are already strong. It's like if you were carrying a heavy box and you had a person who weighed like 100 pounds and looked like they were all skin and bones, and you had someone who weighed 180 pounds and that was muscle and like they were otherwise the same height, who would you choose? You'd choose the stronger person, right? Because you could see that they can handle it. So if your glutes have a bad connection with your brain, and as a result, they're not being recruited, they're not being activated, when you do a squat or when you do a lunge or when you do a glute bridge, your brain uses the muscles that are the strongest, that it has the best connection to, that it's easiest for it to do it, right? Because what you're telling your body is, I want to make this shape. I want to make the shape of a lunge. I want to make the shape of a squat. I want to make the shape of a glute bridge. And so your body goes, okay, and it makes that shape using the muscles it feels most comfortable with, which if your glutes aren't activating is almost never the glutes. So then you're doing all of these exercises and you're making your quads stronger and your hamstrings stronger, and you're encouraging the compensating patterns to get stronger and stronger in your body. So you could actually be doing more harm than good when it comes to trying to reconnect to your glutes. So how can you tell if you're not using your glutes when you're doing these exercises? So first of all, your glutes should be sore if your other muscles are sore. So if you do a squat and you feel your quads working and you feel your hamstrings working, but you don't feel anything in your glutes, that's a sign that your glutes aren't working. Now, there is a tricky distinction here that I really want you to be aware of. There is a muscle underneath your glutes called the piriformis, and it's a small muscle. It's kind of like a strap that goes from the base of the spine to the outside of the leg. That will very often get tight and painful, and people will think it's their glute muscle, but it's not. It's underneath the glute. So if you are getting pain in your backside, like literally in the middle of your butt cheek, but only in that one spot, that's probably not your glutes. I can't say for sure without seeing you, but probably not your glutes. So be aware if you're getting like a small dot of pain in the back of your hip underneath your butt cheek. It's probably not the glutes working. It's probably the piriformis or one of the external rotators. You should feel your whole glute, like your glute comes from the base of the spine out to the side of the hip. It's a very big muscle. So you should feel that being sore. So number one, if that's sore, if that's not sore, you're not activating your glutes. You're not strengthening your glutes when you're doing these exercises. Number two, do you still feel problems elsewhere? When you do a lunge or a squat with your glutes activated versus with your glutes not activated, the difference is amazing. Like, it is unbelievable. I run a glute activation workshop, and I regularly have people come in who can't do a lunge and can't do a squat because they have a pain in the front of the ankle, or it hurts their knee, or they feel a pull on their calf, or it hurts their hamstring. And we go through the glute activation, and by the end of the session, they're doing the lunge with no pain. They're doing the squat with no pain, because finally their body is recruiting all of the muscles the way that they're supposed to. So if you're doing a lunge or a squat or any kind of glute exercise and you're getting a pain in your knee or your ankles, you're feeling like a pressure in the front of the thighs, or just something feels like it's overworking and uncomfortable, that's a sign that your glutes aren't working. Because if your glutes are working, then everything should be much more balanced. Just trying to think if there are any other reasons that you can tell. Oh, there is one more, but this is a little bit more subtle. If you don't feel safe in the movement. So when I show people squatting where they sit back and use their glutes, when their glutes aren't active, there's like a half a second. So I have people squat onto like a bench or a chair or the massage table. There's like that much space where you can see they're genuinely afraid because they can't hold themselves up. Whereas when the glutes are activating through that, they don't get that moment. So if you try to sit back and it feels really unsafe, first of all, don't push it, especially if you don't have anything you're sitting onto. Don't move through the unsafe feeling. Your body feels unsafe for a reason, but it's unsafe because your glutes can't support you. So obviously do what feels safe and then work towards getting your glutes active so that can feel safe. I never, ever, ever recommend that you go through a movement that feels unsafe as it feels unsafe. That's a sign from your body. Please listen to it. So those are 3 ways that you can tell that your glutes aren't working when you're doing these exercises. So what should you do instead? You start by just improving that connection from your brain to your glute muscle. And so at the clinic, if you were to come see us in a video session or in person, we would start by getting you to activate your glutes. And that often just starts by just squeezing your butt cheeks. And I don't mean with your hands, I mean contracting them with your mind. So you would just like close your eyes or, think about your glutes and then try to contract them. Now, I love recommending that people put their hands on the muscle that you're trying to activate. because sometimes our brain can't really tell what we're connected to, but under our hand you can touch. Like if I contract my bicep, I can feel that that's contracted, right? And then if I relax it, oh, well, I guess mine are just tight because I'm a massage therapist and I need a massage. But like an uncontracted muscle generally will feel softer than a contracted one. And so you can use your hands to feel that. Now we have an entire other video about how to start activating your glutes and how to test if your glutes are activating. So in the glutes playlist, which this is a part of, so please feel free to watch that. I'm linking it below and it'll be linked up at the end of the video. So I would love to know, do you do squats or lunges or glute bridges and have a problem activating them? Definitely let me know in the comments. If you want me to send you some more information, like let me know what you're struggling with and I can give you a link. And definitely share this with anyone you know who complains of tight hamstrings, knee pain, IT band tension, etc., and is doing loads of squats and lunges and you think that they might be doing them the wrong way. Okay, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like the video, share it with anybody you know. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.